back to my channel again for another weekly video, and this week, as it's only a week to go till Christmas when you're watching this, I thought I would give you a Christmas inspired bake that you can try at home and share with your family on Christmas Day. And it is these quick and easy cinnamon sugar Christmas tree cookies, and I think that you will really enjoy making them. The end product looks kind of like this, just so you can get an idea before you start. And yes, they're really straightforward to make, so yeah, let's get on with the baking. So in terms of ingredients, what you need is 375 grams of flour. Now I've also added 2 teaspoons of baking powder and a pinch of salt. Then you also need 225 grams of butter, 170 grams of sugar, 56 grams of cinnamon sugar. Now if you're like me and you don't actually have pre-made cinnamon sugar, then you can make it yourself really easily by just combining 50 grams of sugar and 6 grams of cinnamon, and you just mix it together. That's how simple it is to make. And then last of all, you also need 1 egg. Then also in terms of extra sort of tools that you need, you'll need a cookie cutter in the shape of a Christmas tree. I've got this one from Tiger, and they also had other shapes there as well, so instead of making Christmas tree, you could also go for making star-shaped cookies or Santa-shaped cookies, whatever you choose to do really. Then you'll also need a rolling pin. So you want to start by combining the butter with the sugar and creaming it together till it's all mixed in and it's nice and smooth. Now for this you want to add both the normal sugar and the cinnamon sugar. Once you've done that and you've got your mixture looking like this, it's nice and creamy and everything's mixed and smooth, then you just want to crack the egg straight into the bowl and mix it in. Once the egg has been mixed in, then you want to add the flour, which has been combined with the baking powder and the salt bit by bit, probably in about 3 goes I would say, until you get it all in and mix it all in nicely. By the time you're getting towards the end of adding the flour, it does start to get quite thick and quite tough to mix, as it is a doughy mixture that you're making, so you might just want to get straight in there with your hands to be able to finish combining the flour in completely. Once you've got all your ingredients combined, you will then want to use a little bit of extra flour to ensure that your surface is well floured as well as your rolling pin, as if not it will stick and it will get into a big mess, so do make sure you use plenty of flour for this. Once you've floured your rolling pin and your surface, then just empty the contents of the bowl straight out. Once you've emptied the whole of the dough contents out onto the table, just knead it a bit first before rolling it out. Then you can just start rolling it, and you want to get it to about 1/4 of an inch thickness. And this is a really nice easy dough to work with that just rolls out really easily, so you don't want to push it too much, if not it will get too thin. So once you've rolled it out to the thickness that you're happy with, then get your baking tray at the ready, either pre-greased or using parchment paper to line it to ensure that the cookies don't stick to it. Then get your cutter out and you can start cutting away into the dough and placing each of the cookies onto the tray as you cut them out. Then once you've got all the ones cut out that you can get cut out from the piece that you rolled out, then just re-put the dough back together and then roll it out again, and keep doing it until you've got as many cookies out of the dough as you can. So far I've managed to fill 2 trays with 6 cookies each, giving me 12 cookies so far, and I've still got some of the dough left. So I'll be using the rest of that once I've cooked the first batch. And before you actually cook them, what you want to do is put them in the freezer for about 5 minutes, so that when you actually cook them in the oven, they don't spread out and all merge into one. Now that these have been in the freezer for 5 minutes, you can then put them in the oven and cook them at 180 degrees for about 9 to 12 minutes. So once they're cooked and out the oven, then you need to just leave them on the side on the tray for about 2 minutes to cool. before then shifting them over to a wired rack where you can then leave them to cool completely before decorating. Can I also just say that they smell really great right now, and they also make the house smell amazing. Reminds me of like Christmas with cinnamon kind of smells. Anything to do with cinnamon, ginger reminds me of Christmas, and they literally make the house smell amazing. This is again one of those times, I know a lot of people say it, but I wish there was a way of smelling things through the camera, because trust me, you'd be going to make these right now if you could smell them, because they smell so good. I can't wait to eat them. So while you're waiting for the cookies to cool, you can get a start on making the fondant icing ready for decorating the cookies for once they have completely cooled. Now what you need for this, as I am making these quick and easy, I have got some pre-made fondant white icing, which is ready to roll, and it's just basically because I do want to make this a quick kind of bake. If you can make your own fondant icing as well, feel free to do so, but this is just a lot simpler and easier. Then you'll also need some green food colouring to colour the icing so that you can make them look like Christmas trees. Then you will also need a bit of icing sugar, which you will need to mix with some water. And then finally, as well, for decorating, you'll need something to sort of resemble Christmas tree baubles or lights or anything like that. So I found these little kind of silver balls which will go onto the tree. They're edible as well, so you can eat them, and they will go on the tree and look like little Christmas baubles hanging from the tree. So I'm going to start by just cutting a slab of the icing from the pre-made fondant. Then what you want to do with it is take the green food colouring and just add a couple of drops to the fondant icing. And now just kind of fold the icing in half and squash it all together in order to kind of mix the food dye around. Do this until the whole icing has turned green. Then once you've got your icing to a shade of green that you like and your cookies have cooled, then you can start rolling it out, ready to put it onto the cookies. So with this, you want to roll it out quite thinly so that it's a lot thinner than when you rolled out the cookie dough. Once you've rolled out your icing, you can then take your big stack of cookies, which look amazing. I'm really happy with how these have turned out. And you can then take the cookie cutter that you used earlier to cut the cookie dough in order to cut the icing, and then just place it on top of each of the cookies. Then to put it on the cookie, just press it down slightly at the edges to make sure it stays on top. So once you've iced all of your cookies, you then want to take 50 grams of icing sugar. And to this, all you want to do is add 1 to 2 teaspoons of water. You want to make this quite thick, so don't overdo it with the water, as you do want it to sit on top of the cookies and not run off. I am then going to spoon the icing into this kind of squeezy bottle and then use a rounded end tip. But you could also just use a piping bag, the same, but I find this a lot easier and a lot simpler, because always whenever I use piping bags, they always seem to break and it always just becomes really annoying. So instead I found this bottle and it's a lot easier to use. Once you've then got your icing into your piping bag or bottle or whatever you're going to use, you want to take one of your cookies and do this one at a time, creating a zigzag effect across the cookie, almost like tinsel on a tree. And then do a few at a time, and then use whatever decoration you have as your baubles or Christmas lights or anything that you've got like that. Like I had the silver balls. Then add them after you've done a few at a time so the icing hasn't completely set yet. If not, they won't stick. And there you go, that is it. That is your cookies now finished. I will pick up the tray to show you, but I feel like I might drop them if I do that. But I've got a few here on a plate. This is what they'll look like at the end. And I think nearly just kind of dropped them off the plate, so I'm just going to put that down before I do. But yeah, I think they look really nice, and I did also just try a bit of one and they do taste really good as well. So I really hope you enjoyed this, and also let me know if you do make them and how they turned out for you. Also make sure to hit that big thumbs up if you did enjoy it and if you did give it a go. And also let me know any other kind of Christmas bakes that you love to do. Be sure to hit that big red subscribe button down below if you haven't done so already, so you can get my weekly videos into your subscriptions box, and I will be seeing you next week with another Christmassy video. Bye!